Hello friends, welcome to Machine Learning the Future course. So we are looking at artificial neural networks and we have initiated the practicals of artificial neural networks. So in the part 1 of data preparation, we have imported the libraries, we imported the data set, taken care of the dummy variables, taken care of the splitting of training set and test set, and the last part, feature scaling. So in the next part, let's import an ANN. So in this part, we'll import the libraries which is known as keras and library which is known as sequential, and from keras dot layers import dense. So as you can see, sequential is required to initialize our neural networks and dense is required to build layers in our artificial neural networks. So for initialization and for building of layers, we are requiring both these libraries. Now let's initialize our ANN. So stack initialize ANN, and as you already predicted, what will be the library we will be using for initialize? Classifier is equals to object which is created of sequential class. So we have created an object sequential class, and next step will be we'll initialize ANN by defining its at a sequential of layers. So as you can see in our last part, we have defined the various steps which are involved, such as randomly initializing the weights, then inputting the observation, propagating from forward, which is like left to right, and then we have compared the results, and then it will be a feedback happening from right to left and adjusting the weights. So this will be happening now in our practicals with respect to spider. So we are initialized using sequential, and we have already seen our practicals that we'll be using the rectifier activation function for hidden layer, and we'll be using a sigmod activation function for output layer. So dense function contains the output dense functionality, which is the number of nodes which will be required in hidden layer, and how much or the how many nodes will be required in hidden layer. So as of now, we'll take the average of both input and the output layer nodes. So the input layer consists of 11, as you can see, as we have done in our matrix of features, 3 to 30, so it will be 11 plus the output layer node which will be 1. So the average will come as 6. So we'll take 6 number of nodes in our hidden layer. So let's add our input layer and the first hidden layer. So let's initialize them done, and let's add our input layer. So adding the input layer and hidden. So let's do that. So we already get an object of classifier dot add as is there. Let's use dense as we already said it to use for making layers for our input and hidden layers. So output underscore dim, which is used to define the number of nodes in the layer, which will be over here init equals uniform, and the activation which will be used will be relu. So what is a relu? It is actually a rectifier function, and what will be the number of input dim, which will be 11. So that's it, which you have done over here. Now let's add a new hidden layer over here again. So let's add another hidden layer. Classifier dot add. So we'll be using two hidden layers, but what will be the number of nodes in each hidden layer? It will be 6, as we have taken the average of input and output nodes of layers. So again, you will see output underscore dem equals 6 and init equals uniform. Again, the spelling mistake. Uniform and activation will be our activation function will be which will be rectifier function. So yes, we have added the second hidden layer as well. Now next is, as you can see, adding the output layer. So let's add output layer. So again, let's copy this. It will be of the same format, and let's paste it over here and make some minute changes over here. That will output them will be equal to how much? It will be 1. So here we know it will be 6 because there will be number of hidden layers and input, because in the first hidden layer there will be an input layer which will be of an input layer, so it will be coming of 11 nodes. But in the second hidden layer there will be no input dim. It will be a hidden layer, first hidden layer connected to a second hidden layer. So that's why we have not written any kind of input dim over here. And even in the output layer, as you can see over here, we'll be using init is equals to uniform and the activation function. As you can see, or as you can remember from our practicals, what will be the activation function in output layer? It will be a sigmoid function. So yes, we have added the output layer as well. So the next step will be to compile our ANN, and the last part will be to use a classifier or classification fit model. So before that, let's execute this set of instructions which we have done over here. So I think this is not where we have started. So this is it. Importing keras, initializing ANN, adding the input layer and hidden layer, first hidden layer and second hidden layer, and adding the output layer using sequential and dense. So let's execute this. And it will execute this set of instructions. Yes, it's done. So in the last part, we'll see how to compile the ANN which we have built, because we have already built the input layer, the hidden layer, and the output layer, how to compile it and how to predict our output which we require for our use case. So hope you are enjoying this video series. Thank you very much. Bye bye.